Welcome to the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyrer with you. The Blue Jackets, of course, coming off of a massive 8-2 victory over the Arizona Coyotes on opening night here at Nationwide Arena, but they're shifting focus to an equally exciting game tonight as they welcome the Seattle Kraken to town for the first time in franchise history. Now, with a little bit more on the NHL's newest franchise is Ryan Clark, the Athletics Kraken beat writer. What's the style of play for the Seattle Kraken? From everything I've heard, they're hard on the forecheck. They're a team that wants to smother you and just come at you nonstop. Is that pretty accurate from what you've seen these first two?
Absolutely. So an example of that would be in Nashville. There was a sequence in the second period when you have when you have Nathan Bastian's line out there and they're just swarming the puck. But then all of a sudden, as the Preds were trying to get some sort of breakout going, the Kraken are able to do a line change, and here comes Jared McCann, and he gets possession, and he's able to hold up play to where they can do full line change, and all of a sudden they're reloading in Nashville's zone. And so the fact that they're constantly skating is a huge part of their game, and that's what made the difference in that third period. Is players were open about saying, "Hey, we didn't skate compared to the first and second period," and so when that team skates and they're aggressive, that is the peak of what they do. It's to create pressure and force turnovers and try to lead it into scoring chances.
Who were the guys to watch on this Seattle Kraken team? That was one of the most interesting things for me when Vegas came into the league. At that point, there were a lot of unknowns on that team. Who were the guys that were going to step up and be the top point getters, the 60-point guys, the 70-point guys, even the point-per-game guys? Who is that so far in your eyes for the Kraken?
Believe it or not, there's quite a few players to watch, so we'll go through, let's say, 4 or 5 of them. The first that probably comes to mind would be Jared McCann. Yanni Gourde's injury with a offseason shoulder surgery, it created questions about who would be the number one center, so to say. So the thought was, would it be Jared McCann or Alex Winberg? You see Jared McCann on that top line with Jordan Eberle and Jaden Schwartz, and whether it be through preseason or through 2 games of the regular season, they've been so active that not only are they the top line, but they're together on the power play, and that cohesion has really helped pay dividends for the Kraken. A second player to look at would be Brandon Tanev. Yes, he has 2 goals against Nashville, but the way he plays this sort of, you would say almost concerted aggression, where it's he's not reckless, but there's also no chill in what he does, and it fits exactly what the Kraken are trying to do in a sense of being aggressive. A third player would be Morgan Geekie, who was someone that Ron Francis drafted in Carolina, 6'3", 192 to 195 pounds. And Morgan's talked about this a couple times where he's yes, I'm learning how to use my size and get into a comfortable position. But the thing that's really stood out with him, other than just how he uses his size to hold up play, has been his shot. There was a goal he had in Vegas that took people by surprise, and there was a shot he had in Nashville that made people go okay. And of course, players like Philip Grubauer, Mark Giordano are another one. But another person to really look out for has been Adam Larson. I know that may not come as necessarily a surprise. He's a veteran defenseman. He wears a letter. But at the same time, what you've seen, especially in the Nashville game, is for someone who's more known as a defensive sort of defenseman, he's been able to move the puck and help his team, because that's when one of the questions is yes, how do you get goals? But with your defenseman, how do you move the puck when really Dunn and Giordano are the ones who kind of have that personality? So to see a player like Larson do that so effortlessly, it's something that stood out so far.
Well, Ryan, that's all I got for you. As always, really appreciate the time. Thanks very much for it. And here's hoping we get a good first ever meeting between the Kraken and the Blue Jackets.
Well, hey, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, even though the Blue Jackets put up 8 goals against Arizona on opening night, after the game, Blue Jackets head coach Brad Larson said there's still a lot to shore up. And defenseman Jake Bean talked about some of the changes the Blue Jackets want to make tonight against Seattle.
Yeah, I think it's just playing to our identity and our systems. I think we got a little bit away from our systems. We were pretty sharp in preseason the whole time, and for whatever reason, we weren't that sharp last game, and Elvis bailed us out quite a few times, and they had the puck a lot on their stick. So we're a good group. We got smart players. We can bounce back, and we know what we got to do, so we just got to stick to our systems.
Do you think the emotion of opening night had anything to do with you guys kind of getting away from your game a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. It feels like camp was a long time. I think guys were anxious, guys were ready to go, and the crowd was loud, and sometimes it can get away from you, but hopefully we'll settle it down here, and I'm sure we will get our legs under us a little bit sooner tonight.
The Blue Jackets and the Seattle Kraken tonight at Nationwide Arena. That'll do it for tonight's edition of the Rink Report presented by Ohio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyrer saying enjoy the game.